Hey everybody, it's Charles from HumbleMechanic.com. Today we're going to be replacing the front sway bar bushings on the R32. Wearing or collapsed sway bar bushings is a very common mark for issue, so today I'm going to show you how to replace them. This is a super easy DIY and only takes a couple of basic hand tools. If you need any tool recommendations, there's some links down in the description for you. The reason we may want to replace our sway bar bushings typically comes from a noise concern or a visual inspection. The noise concern you'll generally get when your sway bar bushings are collapsing or failing is noise going over bumps. And it typically seems to be temperature dependent. Normally, the warmer the vehicle, the more noise they'll make. That's not always the case, but it is a common thing for these bushings. On the visual inspection, you'll start to see a gap between the sway bar and the bushing. In this video, we are going to be replacing the factory bushings with polyurethane bushings from PowerFlex. For this job, we will need to get the front of the vehicle off the ground and remove the wheels. When you're doing this, be sure to use proper lifting techniques and use things like jack stands and wheel chocks to safely work on the vehicle. The first thing we're going to want to do is take loose our sway bar end link, but it doesn't matter whether you do from the top or the bottom. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to reach in and we're going to take this bolt out of the sway bar bracket. Next, what I like to do is just lift up on the sway bar, and that gets it loose. Then what we can do is take our pry bar and loosen it the rest of the way. Lift up on the sway bar again, remove your bracket. There's a little groove that it sits in right below the sway bar. We'll take our old bushing out. We use a rag and clean where the bushing sits on the subframe and on the sway bar. Also not a bad idea to go ahead and clean the bracket. Now that we have our old bushing out, we can compare it to the new one. What happens over time is that this hole actually gets a little bit bigger, so the sway bar has more room to move inside of it. You'll also notice that this landing here is a bit collapsed. When it comes to lubricating these new bushings, you want to do plenty of lubricant inside where the sway bar rides. You want to do some on the surface where it hits the metal so that it doesn't squeak. Now that we got our bushing all lubricated, time to install it. Now, it's important to pay attention to which way it goes. Notice there's a rounded part at the bottom here that sticks down a little bit further. That needs to go at the bottom. So we're going to lift up on our sway bar. We're going to open our bushing up and we're going to slide it into place. Next, we're going to take our bracket. We're going to get it in the groove, push it down, push it towards the front of the vehicle, and then we're going to start our bolt by hand, not tightening it all the way. If you need a little assistance, grab your pry bar and push the bracket in a little bit, and then reach in and tighten the bolt. Once you have the bolt started by hand, do the other side with this side loose, and then when both of them have new bushings, go ahead and tighten and torque them down. Make sure that you have tightened both bushing brackets and both end links. Put the wheels back on, be sure to torque them properly, and go for a test drive. And that's pretty much it. Yes, it is just that simple. Questions or comments, you guys know what to do. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to check out more R32 videos, I do have a special playlist just for those. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.